Yes, it's the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience from What It Takes Radio, and today we ask a question. If Jesus were doing his work today, do you think he would ever wear a tie? By the way, that's an important question. Let me tell you why. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, on this Friday, the 16th of January, and we celebrate in some ways. We had said that the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience, that class about how to be a world-class Jesus entrepreneur, that after 4 or 5 years of formation and creation, it would really be ready in 25. It is. It is done. But there is so much more we can do. We just know that when you are an entrepreneur and you're creating something, there gets to a point where finally you make a decision to ship. And that simply means is you are ready to make an offering to the public, a product, a service, an experience, something that will make their lives better. By the way, that's the definition of doing business. And the Christian Entrepreneur Network and the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience is a business because we're working with men and women who are in business or who want to be in business. They want to be world class, and that means really good entrepreneurs. And they want, if they're with us, they'd say, maybe Jesus actually has something to say about that. After all, guess what? He started a business, started an organization, and worked at it for 3 years. And it has lasted for over 2,000 years, and it's doing quite well. He might be a source of imitation and perhaps instruction on how to be an entrepreneur. And many of you are having a little bit of a trouble with that because you've never thought of him that way. Start. I think you will find it very helpful. Remember, that's what Christianity is all about. And we don't talk about Christianity. Some of us never even use the word Christian. We do use the word Jesus a lot because he's the deal. And what we're trying to do is see if we can come to a way of living that will help us live better. And particularly for those who are young men trying to make their mark in the marketplace, live better and make our work and our world come together in a way that we can even make a difference in the marketplace. Well, that's what we're about. And we're going to ask you to join the collective at some point in time because it'll be helpful to you. You saw the subject for today. If Jesus were here today doing ministry, and by the way, that's what we always do. We try to figure out what if he was here today, and rather than deciding to be in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago, what if he decided to come to Chicago? Or Champaign-Urbana, or Phoenix, or New York City. And he had his message and his mission and his persona. What would he do and how would he do it differently if he were here today? Dallas Willard, a number of years ago, said in his great wisdom, he said, the question is not what would Jesus do? The question is, what would Jesus do if he were you? And I take it even further. How would Jesus think? Because maybe it's important to know how Jesus might think today. And that would be an influence on what he would do today. And that would give us a model or an imitation model or a followership model of maybe what we should do today. Would he wear a tie today? Now, some of you are thinking this is really stupid. It's not. Let me tell you why. First of all, you see we have him in a red tie. You know, Now, um, I have a red tie. By the way, I love ties. I really do. I could wear one every day. I have some wonderful ties. Unfortunately, it's not something that my wife wants me to do every day. She wants me to look a little more casual, a little more friendly. So that's part of what I do. I also know that in many parts of the marketplace, it's thought to be a little bit stuffy. In some parts of the marketplace, it's thought to be, who are they? But again, in many parts of the marketplace, it is the touch. Trump wears a red tie. I wear a red tie. Basically, I choose 3 to 4, maybe 5 different colors of ties because there are different colors that suit me and work well for me. Now, here's the deal for today. Please listen and take it seriously. Actually, when I ask you the question, what it will reveal to me is a little bit about you because you have an opinion, you have a thought, you have a reason. And so when I would ask you the question, I will learn something about you. And I would learn something about what you might think of Jesus. And that's really very helpful because that will help me to say, how do you know that? Uh, does that make a difference? Are you sure about that? Tell me more. And we have started a conversation about something that might matter. So when I ask you the question, would Jesus wear a tie today? That will start a conversation. Maybe about manhood, maybe about business, maybe about life, maybe a thought about the way we dress, what we believe, who we admire, what we think, and maybe what we are. So that's my question for today. We're going to have a lot of questions because you see, if you want to imitate Jesus, here's what you do. Here was his selling secret. Well, he was a great salesperson. Do you want to be good at sales? That's the man. He'll teach you how to be really good at selling. For sure. Master. He told stories and he asked questions and he put on shows. Told stories, asked questions, and put on shows. That was his entrepreneurial secret. But it's no secret. It's very clear, and it's something that you can do too. I'm Stan Houston. We are just under 10 minutes. And so hopefully this has been 10 minutes of clarity and something for you to think about this weekend. Maybe when you go to church and think about Jesus and talk about Jesus, you'll be thinking about him differently. And here's also a test. When you go to church this Sunday or a place of worship, do they really ever talk about Jesus? Or do they talk about a lot of other things? Maybe good things, maybe important things, maybe theology and philosophy and ways to live. But do they ever talk about Jesus? Not just the Christ, not just the Holy Spirit, but Jesus, the man, the real man. Just let some of this sit on your head for a while, maybe stir your mind, maybe even touch your heart. We're going to see you often. I'm looking forward to the journey with you. Till next time, which will be soon. Bye for now.